Okay, I think we are online. Uh, okay, so there's how is it late? So I hope I have it correct, and I hope the camera is doing is working.
Does it turn on?
It's on already. Let me give me a moment. Let me go and check. Yeah, yeah. I think the camera is on. Okay. So okay. Good morning, and thank you for coming and join me this morning for the meditation.
Good morning.
Yeah. So it's been 2 weeks since I've been here. So the topic that I chose today is about love.
Oh.
Okay, I know. So, well, I thought about love, and in the last couple weeks or so, things came up, and oh my goodness, my staff, a few of them have, some issues too, and it's family issue, right? Family issue, and we thought that if we're married and we have a family, we should be good. We should be good, really. Yeah, because we love each other, right? But does love bring you happiness? And when does love bring you suffering? I think love brings you suffering too. And I think with mindfulness meditation, it helps us to get over those trial times in the relationship when the love is still there. But why is it that we're not happy when the love is still there? Deep down, it's still there.
Yeah.
But
what a great topic.
Yeah, but when we have problem, most of the time it's due to communication, I think.
Never.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, communication is when it's good, it can make really good positive changes in our lives. But when it's not good or when it's lacking, it can cause a lot of issues and lots of suffering and lots of misunderstanding. Yeah, and stress, right? We call that emotional stress. So, and love, to me, there's so many aspects of love, really. You go through, like, see, when you're a teenager, early 20s, and you fell in love. That's the kind of love that is completely different to the love that we develop when we're older, like 40, 50, 60s. And yeah, and there's a lot of happiness associated with love when things are rosy. And
the honeymoon phase.
the honeymoon phase, yeah. And I don't know, I mean, I think when it comes to love, we have a different kind of love towards our pets.
That's easy love.
That's easy love, and it's almost like unconditional love. But somehow between humans, between between spouses, there's always that conditional love somehow. There's always that conditional. If you don't do this, if you don't do that.
Yeah, it's higher expectations, I think, when it comes to people.
Right.
My expectations of my animals are, you look cute, that's all.
That's it. Yeah. So unconditional love, you love your pets no matter what, and you are more forgiving towards your pet But how can we train ourselves to love like that towards our, you know, our family members or friends?
Something happens or anything that
Right.
makes somebody unlovable for a little bit.
Yeah.
What I've always been taught is love is an action, not a feeling. It's kind of what helps me, in a lot of ways, is that
Yes.
it's you got to start with the action of love.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a topic. I chose a topic just for us to discuss. It doesn't mean that I'm an expert in it in any way.
But no, but I love the topic. I do.
It's a.
Has some bit of sacrifice as well.
Yes. Yeah. So, you have to be.
I think it's.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to be ready to sacrifice some of what your wants, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And give way for other people's want. So, yeah. What I find is that I still go through that with my relationship with Ham, for example. There will be ups and downs. Hopefully, more ups than down. But during the downtime, what do? I think mindfulness meditation helps me a lot because it makes me more aware of what I'm thinking, what I'm doing, right? Thinking and doing. So, am I doing the right thing? Am I thinking the right thing? What is my motive? I really examine my soul a lot more than if I didn't have the mindfulness
I guess it depends
skill.
on what you're meditating on. Sometimes, without mindful meditation, you meditate on the negative. It kind of goes over and over in your head. Oh,
Right.
he did this. Oh, they did this. I can't believe I'm so offended.
Right.
Or can't believe they did that to me.
Yeah.
But I think mindfulness is you can kind of think through the process of it,
Yes.
be more open to the answers, and kind of find a more, I don't know, positive way. That makes sense. You weren't paying attention, were you? My voice, he doesn't hear that frequency.
Really?
When we got married, we lost it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's about thinking on the positive of the other person and just kind of letting those feelings bubble up instead of focusing on the negative feelings.
Yeah. It's very, I think it's easy to let something get to you because of lack of communication, right? Misunderstanding. So I find that if we don't talk to each other, the wound gets deeper, and the misunderstanding can get to be a bigger problem. Yeah, but when you can get the two people to sit down and just have an honest conversation and try to understand each other, then I think we can make up and be in harmony with each other again. Yeah, because it's like Hal and I are compatible, and a lot of the time we agree on a lot of things. But when we disagree on one thing, that one disagreement seems to be a big.
Oh yeah.
So all of a sudden it's big, and it can break up everything, right?
Right.
But if I'm not, paying attention and sit down and meditate on the thing and recognize what we have, what good things we have, what not so good things we have, and can we change the bad thing to be good and just build up that good thing more than just throw away all the good things because of one bad thing. Yeah. So
and going back to the wounds thing, whenever something happens, like you said, a wound goes deep, but it's almost like a wound that heals on top, but is accessed underneath.
Right.
You know, you almost have to, that communication,
Right.
cut open that wound,
Yes.
you know.
Yeah.
But I think mindful meditation kind of helps you think a little bit more clear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Through the fog.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's easy to just go along with the natural human emotion, whereas mindfulness meditation is a skill. If you don't practice, you don't have much of that skill. I think we probably have some degree of mindfulness on our daily life without practicing. We do, because we think, right? And when we think, we have that some degree of awareness, but to go deeper and to be able to divert your thinking to a better path is better than just going, you are aware that in that moment you are in that, state of mind, and then but that's it. And then you let yourself be pulled down that pathway and can't go back to the other way. It's easy. And it's easy to give yourself the excuses too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Justify everything.
Yeah. Giving excuses and justifying that your action and your words are, okay when they are not okay. Yeah.
I guess it takes away the negative, like the stress hormones and stuff like that when you meditate. So you're able to maybe look at the argument a little bit more clearer.
Yeah.
And instead of just having the stress just coursing through your body, and you're gonna, of course, always think you're right and they're wrong, and I mean, they may be wrong and you may be right. It is possible, but through meditation you learn forgiveness, even
right,
like we've studied before.
Yeah.
That helps a lot with love too.
Yeah. I think Hal is back. I will wait for Hal to join us, and then I will lead the meditation. The love, love can bring a lot of happiness, and love can bring a lot of suffering. But there's different kind of loves, like I said, unconditional love, like the love that we have for our pets and for nature, right? But we have to learn how to love that way too towards our loved ones, which can be hard. Can be hard. Can be hard, but can it be done?
Yeah. I mean,
can it be done if we practice mindfulness meditation? I think it can be done, but you have to be so aware in the present moment. Yeah. Define that tough love.
Yeah, define that.
Parenting, is with parents.
The love of
disciplining them.
Yeah.
But meditation can help with that, to help with your anger. So that way you don't address the situation in an angry situation with your kids or even spouse or anything.
Well, let's see an example of tough love. Hi. And so, years ago, especially in my culture back in Asia, it was believed that parents have the right to hit the children, spank the children, because that's how they train the children to be good. But I come from that culture, and then when I have my children, I just realized that that's not the way. That's not tough love. I mean, the old belief is that you have to be tough, you have to hit your children, spank your children, punish them, so you can mold them to be good. But what I've learned in my own experience is that that's the wrong way to do.
Out of anger.
Out of anger.
Definitely.
I mean, yes.
Everything out of anger.
Yeah.
So
I think you can mold your children with love and nurturing rather than hitting and spanking.
Now, I will admit on camera.
Discipline, right? You can discipline, but you can set goals, set rules, okay?
I did spank them when their lives were in danger. I did spank them when their lives were in danger.
Yeah.
You know, like if they were about ready to, oh God, I can't think of anything. But if I only spanked Goldie one time, and that is because he broke his window in his room. You know, and that's something that's dangerous if he can't control his anger. But in that situation, you don't do it right away. You just don't go in there and start wailing on him, even though I felt like it. I didn't do it. You take time to calm down, and you know, I guess in a way that was kind of meditation and just kind of breathing through it, calming down, and then going back to the situation and addressing it. But yeah, I think that was like the only time, because his anger. I don't know.
It's funny, you know, as an adult, I can remember only one time when my father spanked me, and it was well deserved.
We gave him.
Trent knows the story. Yeah, I had been out with my mom in Avon. She was an Avon lady back in the day. And, so I was like 5 or 6, and so she was in, you know, doing what Avon ladies do with women. And I'm out in the car, and I'm playing with a cigarette lighter. Back when cars had cigarette lighters.
See? Safety.
And so I light a tissue on fire, throw it on the dashboard. Catches fire, and my mom sees me, and I'm like using her hand cream supply to put out the fire. And she said to me, "Just wait till your father gets home."
I think parents left us alone a little too much with a little too much dangerous stuff.
Well, that was the '60s. Things were simpler back then, but you know, I think that there is a time when you should be spanked.
But it shouldn't be for everything.
No, it shouldn't be for everything. It should be graciously and as a last resort. But I can't remember any other time I was spanked. Probably was.
I actually believe it was because I loved them again, like you said, with discipline. And that's why he said, and guess what? He's never let his anger control him like that since. It kind of like that one instance for you, it kind of stuck, right?
Well, I haven't done it since.
Exactly. She's right then.
No more car fires.
Or hopefully no fires.
Yep. Well, with that, let me lead you into a meditation practice. And again, I forgot to say good morning to everybody watching on YouTube, so I apologize. So let's go into the meditation with the focus on love. And again, deep breathing is our basic tool. So during this practice, please remember to take deep breaths in and out, slowly and deeply. And, bring your focus back to your breath first, and then start working on your thoughts and other senses. Okay? So just assume a comfortable position. You don't have to sit cross-legged like us. You can sit with legs stretched out or laying down or whatever. We haven't done a laying down meditation in a while. And then Start taking deep breaths in and out. And you can close your eyes if that's what you prefer to do. Breathing in, you are aware that you are breathing in slowly and deeply. And as you fully inhale, you hold for 2 to 4 seconds. Then you exhale even slower than you inhale. And at the bottom of your exhalation, you hold for a couple of seconds, and then you repeat. So in this very moment, you are very aware of your breath. You're aware of how your chest rises and falls. You're aware of how you feel as you take the air into your nose and down to your deep breaths in. You know you're breathing in. Slow breaths out. You know you're breathing out. After a few deep breaths, you may start to notice that you are relaxing a little bit more than before. You may notice that you are letting go of your arms and relaxing the muscles in your legs, your lower back. You may be more aware of the surface that you are sitting on. As you take in the air, you may even be aware of what the air feels like. And how your body feels as you take in the air. Breathing in, you know you're breathing in. breathing out, you know you're breathing out. As your awareness grows, you may be more in tune with what you hear, what you feel. Now you can see if you can focus on your mind and your thoughts. You may bring into your mind a picture, an image of someone you love. As you continue to take deep breaths in and out, see if you can understand your emotions and feelings towards that one person. Just be an observer of your thoughts. What do your thoughts tell you about the love you have? Now remember back an event where the two of you have encountered discordance. Observe that situation. See back at that moment to see if your love was present. follow your thoughts. See your thoughts for what they are. In this practice of mindfulness meditation, we try to not attach judgments to what we are seeing or hearing. In this practice of mindfulness meditation, we practice seeing things for what they truly are. Deep breathing in, slowly breathing out. Look at that situation and see how your love can help you to solve the problem. See if the thoughts of love can steer your action for the better. Often in an argument, in the heat of the moment, without mindfulness, you can say things that shouldn't be said, or do things that shouldn't have been done. Deep breaths in, slowly breathing out. may see lots of thoughts entering, even see them as they enter. See what they tell you. With your awareness, you can see positive ones. You can also see your ability to change things. Mindfulness practice is an exercise. We know what happens when we exercise. Exercising your mind will make your mind healthier. Everything starts from the thoughts. Breathing in, you know you're breathing in. Out, you know you're breathing out. By now, I'm hoping you're feeling for that ones that you have in your mind. Even larger now. They have the better understanding of why it is better with this simple exercise. Breathing in, you know you're breathing out, you know you're breathing out. 5 minutes. I invite you to practice in silence. few breaths. Take deep breaths in and out. Bringing your attention back to this present moment. Start moving your fingers and toes if you like, and open your eyes. I think that was half an hour.
It's so much easier to do here.
Yeah, it goes by fast, doesn't it? Yeah. So you can stretch. I don't know if you feel numb in your legs or not, but I do. Been sitting on the nerves too long. Okay. Well, how did you feel with that? Half an hour of practice.
Yeah.
Relax? Yeah? Mm.
So laying meditation next.
Yeah. Well, we haven't done the laying meditation for a while.
Oh, you mean the snoring?
The snoring. Yeah, you can snore too, yes.
I know. I'm looking forward to
The walking, yeah, I think I like the walking because we've been sitting down for a while. Yeah. So we can stand up and stretch.
Oh, I was gonna say you can lay on the couch in there now and meditate with us.
Yeah. Okay. So the weather has been good and warm. So it feels warm. Yeah, especially, I mean, during meditation, I feel myself generating heat too, so I feel hot. Feel hotter.
Are we done? We're not done.
No, not yet. Well, yeah, we'll do a few circles of walking meditation, and then we'll do. Okay. Would you like me to ring the bell? Huh?
It's on a time.
Huh? What is? Oh, yeah. Okay, we can just. By now, we should know how to meditate while walking, right? So it's no difference from meditation while sitting. And we still take deep breaths in and out. Taking advantage of the deep breaths to activate the vagus nerve. While we do the walk-in meditation, we can direct our focus to our senses or to our surroundings. Being aware of how the feet touch the ground. Or even how your muscles in the legs are moving. do one more circle. Just a few minutes of sharing, sharing experience. Okay. This is the part that I like. Yeah. Hearing everybody sharing the experience is the best because I think we learn from each other. Yes. Yeah. So how was yours? Practice today.
I was thinking about love and stuff, and then it's like for me, it always boils down to stress. Everything boils down to stress. You know, if you're too stressed, you can't feel any feelings. If your life's too hectic, and the American lifestyle is just very hectic, and just to try to step back, I think meditate and kind of almost get to the root cause of the issue. What kind of I got from it, I guess. Sorry if you're gonna say something.
Well, I missed part of the lecture this morning.
Lecture?
No, it was the discussion. It was a
Discussion.
discussion about love, how it can bring a lot of happiness, and how it can actually cause suffering.
Oh. Well, I was at the jail, and I had 3 women I saw this morning. Each of them had loved ones that caused them stress
And they ended up in jail?
suffering. Well, because they were with a relative that had bad things going on, got swept up in that mischief. So, yeah, it's loved ones can cause both joy and happiness, and sometimes sorrow and suffering. In terms of my practice today, I always find it relaxing to come out here and hear this lovely voice talk us through our meditations.
Kind of makes you think about your own life, doesn't it? Help appreciate.
It makes us think about our own life. Yeah, we can.
Again, just going back to trying to think about the things that you do for others and serving, not just serving to do it, but serving with a happier heart.
Right.
And the happier heart is where you show the love. I guess I struggle with that sometimes.
No.
But knowing that when I serve, that is a part of love, and then doing it when I can add that, I would say, sugar on top of doing it with the happy heart, then it just seems like it's just more well received, and it's more of an action of love called to do.
That's great.
Speaking of super on top, there is dessert. For those of you that come, you're absolutely
Yeah.
sent.
But like Dan joined the meditation this year, right? You only just started.
It was in the last year.
Oh, is
Yeah,
it
it was the
last
year,
year,
yeah.
but actually practicing it. Have you been practicing it since last year? Or?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, you came
Yeah.
about a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know I came for the retreat.
Yeah.
That's about a year ago.
After that.
I don't know.
It's time for it to do another retreat.
Yeah. But how has your experience been over the past year?
As she mentioned, I think it's good that we can get away from the disconnect of the busyness.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been nice to be able to do that and have the focus time
Yeah.
to be able to sit and just focus on the one item that focus on and not the things that might be going on.
Do you think it has helped you?
Oh yeah.
Change you in any way?
I think a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely continues to mold me and gives me that opportunity to think upon the things that sometimes the thing that I missed throughout the week that I may have overlooked. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
really good.
That's the same with me. I think mindfulness meditation changed me significantly. I think not just in my personal life, but in my work life too. How I do things, plan things, and how I interact with other people too. And going back to your point of tough love, to me, tough love doesn't mean that you have to use violence or force, but
Right.
but tough love could be a decision that you make that the other person see things.
Yes.
It's harsh. It can be harsh. What you decide can be like harsh for the other person, but sometimes it's needed. It's much needed. It makes the other person think a lot. So, love doesn't mean that you have to put up with the things that are wrong. Yeah, right. So.
Yeah, I mean, just sometimes tough love. When you said tough love, not that I ever known this to happen. I've never been a part of it, but like an intervention, I think would be like a tough love where people get around and, like I said, I've never been a part of one, but whatever goes on there. But they're doing it to help the other person, hopefully.
Yeah, like I would think about tough love as taking away privilege and benefit.
Yeah,
and
that works really good nowadays.
Yeah,
with
so
kids
tough.
and
Kids
Yeah.
and adult
Yeah.
too. Adult too. It's not just kids, but like tough love between adults. You can apply that rules to adults too. Like you're not going to get these benefits.
Boundaries.
Yeah, you're not going to get the benefits from this loving relationship if you're not going to behave, right?
Right.
And so that's tough love too. But for children, tough love, you can just take the phone away from them. That really make them think, and then change their behavior, right?
Not if it was Calva. Nothing worked for her. Nothing. There's nothing I could take anything away, and she was like, okay.
Well, I was gonna move it.
That's why my mom's helping her. Hi, Calva. Well, listen to me.
Yeah, but I think there are people who think, why meditate, right?
Yeah,
why meditate?
Seems like a waste of time.
It seems like a waste of time, and why meditate? And meditate is about thinking and seeing, and I'm thinking, I'm seeing all the time, but so why meditate, right? So why do we meditate?
Clarity of mind.
I was about ready to say,
Yeah.
getting through the chaos.
Yeah.
So clarity of mind's great.
Yeah. Being more aware of your thoughts and your
People live in an ADHD
action.
world, right? I mean, even if you don't have it, there's so much coming at you.
Yeah.
And focus on the
But mindfulness can help ADHD.
We're trying.
Yeah. But it just means that you have to practice all the time for it to help. Yeah.
That was a stress.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm not saying that mindfulness meditation is the answer to all problems, right? It's a tool. It's a tool, and it's a great tool that we can use.
I think it's a journey too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, you know, I can see progress from when I started.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, I mean, when I first started, you know, I had more weight. I was tired, too tired. My body hurt too much. I had to lay down a lot of times. And, you know, learning to process the stress in a more healthy way, I guess. And my main thing is breathing through the stress, you know, through mindful meditation, learning to breathe through the stress of life when you can't escape that stressful situation. You know, I just can't sit down and meditate no matter where I'm at. But because I've learned the breathing exercises, I can breathe through it and hope. And sometimes I don't, but for the most part, I get clarity of mind more. You know, and I guess that's where it would help the ADHD part, because normally my mind's just, you know, but when I'm breathing, it makes me focus more on smaller number of thoughts, I guess you could say.
Well, it's calming, right?
What's that?
It's calming.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It gives you the better, that's a good way to put it. I'm just going to tell you things and you're going to word it in ways that.
And you almost, did you cut down on your last medication?
I want to. I was going to actually talk to you about, you're talking about hydroxychloroquine.
Yeah,
I was actually going to talk to you about that today. Finding out when I could.
I mean, if you feel really, really good, you can cut down to half a tablet, and then if you don't have flare, you can just stop, because you've done so well. I mean, compared to before, you are doing so much better.
Yes.
Not a lot of flares and.
Even going through extreme stress, you know, before that would have put me in bed.
Oh my God! One of my staff, you know, she was my patient first. Oh my God! When she came to see me, despite being on 20 different meds, she was still having flares. I mean, frequent flares of rheumatoid arthritis, almost on the weekly or bi-weekly basis, and taking prednisone all the time. Can you believe it? She is off all meds.
I can believe it.
All meds. Not even biologic injection anymore. And actually, you know, as she got older, being on the biologic made her have frequent infections. In the past year, she just got in bronchitis. I said, oh no. No, and her joints don't hurt anymore. So I said, you stop it. And she stopped it 3 or 4 months now. No joint pain. And she, at the age of 62 or 63, she's now going to the LA Fitness?
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Every single day after work, she goes.
Wow, good. That's hard to do.
Yes, but you know, she's older and she's you know, no kids or anything, so she comes to work, and right after work, she would change clothes into the exercise clothes and go down the road to the LA Fitness every single day. And seriously, I mean, you can use tools, and her tools, she doesn't do mindfulness meditation, but she's eating healthier.
She drinks wine.
And she's eating healthier, and she's just a very lovely, happy person, smiling all the time. And I think that happiness in itself is meditation. She's very loving. She loves the plant. She takes up the plant. She talks to the plant. literally talk to the plants,
I
okay?
would too, probably.
And so we give all the plants to her to take care of, and they just flourish. But yeah, but I mean, I can remember when she first came to see me. This was before I moved to the new office, so it had been about 10 years or more, and she's off all meds, all meds. Yeah. So amazing.
That's
And
something I really
she's
appreciate
younger
about-
today than 10 years ago in the way her body feels. So
That's something I really appreciate about Dr. Tran. It's constantly trying to figure out how to heal rather than treat.
yeah. And everybody has different
and you keep
solution, right? For her, she, even though she doesn't do mindfulness meditation, she heals, and for her healing is about
Isn't working out kind of a mindful meditation, because you have to control your breathing when you're working out?
Yeah, exercise. That there is a whole field of exercise medicine. Why exercise helps? Exercise. So in the course that I recently signed up to study, there is a whole module about exercise medicine and the science behind exercise, why it helps the body to be healthier. So
did I hear right? I may have heard it wrong, but it actually helps not create brain cells, but create neural pathways or something, like new neural pathways.
Yeah, I mean, muscle cells do a lot. Muscle cells almost now, if we look at how muscle cells behave, they do a lot for you when you activate the muscle cells. It's just like similar to when you activate vagus nerve. Vagus nerve will carry out certain things for you, and when you activate your muscles, and the muscle cells get stimulated, it starts to produce anti-inflammatory myokines, cytokines. It starts to produce more receptors on its cell surface, so the receptors can receive more signals from growth hormone and things like that. And it's just like it's a domino effect. One thing happened, lead to another, but the end result is not only that your muscle will grow, but it also have effect on your brain cells, your nervous system, and other endocrine system also.
Does it have to be weightlifting, or is like swimming okay?
Swimming is okay, moving your muscles, but at least twice a week you do some strengthening exercise. And then you don't have to go and lift heavy weight, but you use a stretchy band to just strengthen, do some resistance training. I do power yoga, that's my niche, right? I like yoga, and I do power yoga. And in power yoga, you really have to strengthen your muscle in a few poses. Yeah. So, so you can use exercise to heal your body too. That's why people who exercise feel better than people who don't exercise.
Why is it that we don't want to do everything that's good for us? That's something we need to meditate on. Is why are we fighting?
I think athletes that train would probably say it feels good.
Yeah, but I have a few patients who were really, really, like they were at one time in their life was very, very fit. They exercise was all they did, and regular training and even heavy lifting bodybuilders. I got bodybuilders coming into my practice being sick, and it's because they're not focusing on other things. So if you exercise to bring in some health benefit, but other aspects of your life, the negative force is bigger, right? So these people have a lot of stress, or they don't pay attention to their diet. One of the fitness person who became my patient, he was a bodybuilder, right? Younger age, he was bodybuilder, exercise all the time. But one thing he cannot give up is drinking Coke all day long. All day long. He doesn't drink water. That's what he drinks, but that's what damaged his health. And he didn't eat enough nutrients to sustain his exercise. So the body broke down. And he was so sick, could not do even walking, let alone going into the gym and do, weightlifting or bodybuilding. Yeah, but he got addicted to Coke. And so many times I said, okay, try to give up. Can't give up.
It is addicting. I do have to say that this is the one area where my ADHD is probably really good in that I can't sit still. And so because I can't sit still and I rescue the animals, I always am lifting something heavy or doing some kind of scrubbing or something like that.
Yeah.
So, yay, ADHD.
Okay.
Dogs have ADHD.
What's that?
Dogs have ADHD.
Dogs have
Yorkie, oh my God, those things, anxiety and ADHD.
Yeah.
They just sit
Well, yeah.
It's like whenever anything walks by, it's like,
They just want you to know.
Well, with that, I thank you all for joining me today, and thank you everybody for watching us on the YouTube. I hope the session was beneficial for you all, and have a great weekend. Yeah. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the weather. Yep.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Be well.
My plants need water.